welcome to my new lecture. Uh, in this lecture, I am going to talk about magnetic field due to current and force due to two parallel current. These are topic 29.2 and 29.3 of the Fundamentals of Physics book by Halliday, Resnick and Walker. First of all, I would like to determine how to calculate the magnetic field due to current. This is my first topic of today's discussion. First of all, I would take a current element, a non-uniform current element in which the current is flowing through this non-uniform wire, like this one from let's say bottom to top. Now, to calculate the magnetic field due to this current, I would take a small differential length of this current element as ds. This is my small differential length of current element ds. Now, the current that is flowing, and let's say this is my current length, which is I ds, and this is the direction of this current element. Now, I am interested in finding out the magnetic field at this point P, which is at a distance r from this current element, and the direction of magnetic field dV would be like this one. Now, this was an easier task when we were calculating electric field, because they were represented by elements dq in scalar form. However, it's a complex process in case of magnetic field, as it takes on IDS, which is a vector quantity, right? Now, this amount of magnetic field dB is given as mu naught over 4 pi. These are constants, I ds sine theta over r square. You know all these values except this mu naught. Mu naught is permeability of free space, and it has value of 4 pi into 10 raised to power minus 7 Tesla meter per ampere. This is mu naught, right? This equation, let me give it as a name, as equation A, basically is known as equation A is Biot-Savart's law. This represents Biot-Savart's law. Now, this is due to this magnetic field, that dB is due to this small differential element ds, and if you want to find out the magnetic field due to this whole wire or current wire at point P, you will integrate it over the limits. You will get the magnetic field due to this whole wire at point P. This would be Biot-Savart law. Now since it is IDS sine theta, one can say that it can be represented in vector product form as well. Now the vector product form of this equation would be dB mu naught over 4 pi I ds cross r unit vector over r square. This equation B also represents the Biot-Savart's law. This r unit vector would be directed along this direction, right, as this due to this radial distance between point P and the element ds. So this is our Biot-Savart law, and Biot-Savart law could be of great use for calculating the magnetic field due to different current elements, right? And we would see with an example how it can be used to solve different systems. First of all, I would like to find the magnetic field due to a long straight wire, right? I am interested in finding out the magnetic field due to a long straight wire. You can also find this magnetic field due to a long straight wire using Ampere's law, which we would see later on in our discussions. First of all, I am considering an infinite wire like this, which is extending from minus infinity to plus infinity. And just like considering the Biot-Savart law, I am taking a small element ds and I want to find out the magnetic field due to this current element at point P. Now the distance of this differential element from this point is r, and let's say the perpendicular distance from the center of this wire to point P is represented by capital R, and the distance between this 0 axis and this differential length is given by S, right? This is our situation in which we want to use the Biot-Savart law to find the magnetic field due to this long straight wire. Now according to Biot-Savart law, the differential magnetic field due to this element dB would be given by mu naught over 4 pi I ds sine theta over r square. This was our Biot-Savart's law. Now one thing should be kept in mind that this is my differential element, and since it is extending from minus infinity to plus infinity, if this is, let's say, at plus 3, there would be exactly same length at minus 3 as well. Just taking this would be another differential element which is below this 0 axis line, and there is a same point above this 0 axis line. Just the difference is that it is along positive y direction and it is along negative y direction. So I will consider there would be magnetic field at this point due to this element as well. So my dB B would be actually equals to, due to these two differential element, as 2 times dB. And now I can take the limits of integration as from 0 to infinity. If I had not taken this to be 2 dB, I have to basically integrate it from minus infinity to plus infinity. You can do that as well, but I have simplified the case by taking the limits from 0 to infinity and considering this differential element. Now this could be given as, since I know the value of dB, this would be 2 would be cancelled by this one, mu naught over 2 pi 0 to infinity I ds sine theta over r square. Now if this is my angle theta, right, then the sine theta would be perpendicular over hypotenuse, and it would be given as capital R over small r. And this small r, by Pythagoras theorem, we know that should be equals to s square plus r square and square root of that, right? This would be my sine theta. So when I substitute these values into this equation, I can get the result like B would be equals to zero to infinity. I can write these constants from outside the integral, and this would be I ds would be now ds sine theta would be r over s square plus r square, and you can write this s r square to be s square plus r square. I will, this sine theta is r over s plus s square plus r square 1 by 2, and I can write this r square to be equals to s square plus r square, right? Now if I write down this equation in a more simplified form as B is equals to mu naught I over 2 pi integral from 0 to infinity r over s square plus r square, powers would add up 3 by 2 ds. This would be my integral in this case. Now if I have to, I can use the power rule to find the integral, this integral. Let's see how. B would be mu naught I over 2 pi 0 to infinity s square plus r square raised to power minus 3 by 2 into r square would be 2r, so I have to multiply this with 2 and I have to divide it with 1 by 2 as well, just to complete the differentiation of r square. Now the integral of this one would be b over b is equal to mu naught over 4 pi minus 3 by 2 s square plus r square raised to power minus 1 by 2 and limits of integration from 0 to infinity. This would be sorry, there was a problem from here, that the integral was upon ds and I have taken it to be on r, so r should be cleared like this one, and I am eradicating this one. You have to use the 19th of the appendix E, which is given by that dx over x square plus a square raised to power 3 by 2 should be equals to x over a square and a square plus x square raised to power 1 by 2. So running on the similar steps, since x in this case is s and a in this case is r, so using this integral I can write down the magnetic field to be equals to mu naught over 2 pi. This would now be cancelled, mu naught over 2 pi I, and this x would be r, this would be s, this x is s over a is r square and s square plus r square or r square plus s square raised to power 1 by 2, and limits of integration would be from 0 to infinity. And when you will substitute these limits into this equation, you can get the magnetic field due to this whole current element. And another thing is that when r square comes out of this whole raised to power 1 by 2, this would simply come out, and b would be mu naught I over 2 pi r, and s over if I take s this common, then it would be 1 plus r square over s square raised to power 1 by 2. They will get cancelled out, and when you will put these limits as 0 and infinity, first you will put infinity, then this would be 0, and 1 over 1 plus 0 would be 1, and when you will put 0, this whole term will become 0. So the result comes out to be that magnetic field due to this infinite long straight wire is B is equals to mu naught I over 2 pi r. Once again, I apologize for the mistake over here. You cannot basically take this as 2r as the integration was on ds. This is due to infinite straight wire. And when you consider only the semi wire, half wire that extends from 0 to infinity, then the magnetic field would obviously B is equals to, this is due to semi-infinite, right? Straight wire, right? Moving onward, I would be discussing the topic 29.3, that is force between two parallel currents. This is our new topic, force due to two parallel currents. Now I would take two wires, parallel wires, in which the current is flowing. Let's say this is my wire A and this is wire B, and IA current flows through this and IB current flows through this, and such that they are separated by a distance D. These two parallel wires are separated by a distance D, and we are interested in calculating the force on wire B. This is wire A, this is wire B. On wire B, due to current in wire A. This is our main calculation that we want to do in this case, right? To calculate this, we have to find the magnitude of the magnetic field of the wire A, and this BA would be given as we have find out in our discussion, that mu naught current IA over 2 pi, and R is distance here, the distance is D. Now, since we are interested in finding the magnetic force at wire B due to A, this would be equals to the current IB and length L and magnetic field BA. This would be my force due at wire B due to wire A. Now the length would be, as I told in previous discussion, that along the length would be along the direction of current, and force would be perpendicular to this length element. So the angle between them would be 90 degree. I can write this to be FBA would be equals to IB LBA sine 90 degree, which comes out to be IB length into BA. Now if I substitute the value of BA from this equation, I would get the force on the wire B due to wire A, that would be IB L, and BA is mu naught IA over 2 pi D, and this force is mu naught L IA IB over 2 pi d. This is my force due at wire B due to wire A, and you can see that it is equal to the product of the current. As large the current is flowing through these wires, the larger would be the magnetic force that is between these two wires. Now if we are interested in finding the force on the wire A due to wire B, you can see that it would be you will see that the force will be directed towards wire B. So we can say that when you have parallel currents, then the parallel currents attract each other, while anti-parallel currents repel each other, right? In this case the two currents were parallel, so they would basically attract each other, and the force would be the product of these two currents. And if they are anti-parallel, then they would basically repel each other. So this was our today's discussion, which revolved around the Biot-Savart law, and we use the Biot-Savart law to find the magnetic field due to an infinite wire, and then we calculated the force between two parallel currents. Hopefully you understand these topics, and I will be back soon with a new topic. Thank you.